One day, a young man walked into the church, his face troubled. He sat down in front of the priest, looking as if a heavy burden was on his shoulders. "Father, I've been praying so much, but it feels like God isn't listening. I've asked for so much, yet nothing changes. I feel like I'm losing my faith. I don't understand why God doesn't answer me." The priest looked at him with kind eyes and a gentle expression. He sat quietly for a moment before speaking. "My son, I know how hard it can feel when it seems like God isn't answering our prayers. But sometimes we misunderstand what prayer really is. Prayer isn't just about asking for things to happen right away. It's about building trust, understanding, and developing a relationship with God." The young man frowned. "But I've been praying for so long, and nothing is happening. I feel like my faith is fading." The priest nodded thoughtfully, then continued, "I understand. Sometimes it feels like we're praying into the void, and we wonder if God even hears us. But the truth is, God is always listening. He answers our prayers in His time, not ours. God's answers may not always be immediate or in the form we expect. Sometimes His answer is no, sometimes it's wait, and sometimes it's yes, but with a different plan than we had imagined." The young man's face was still filled with confusion. "But why wait, Father? I've been waiting for so long, and still no sign. How do I keep trusting when I feel nothing is changing?" The priest leaned forward, looking into his eyes with sincerity. "Let me share something with you. When we were children, did we ever ask our parents for something big, like a toy, a new bike, or even money to go out with friends? When we asked, we often didn't understand why they said no. It felt like they didn't love us or didn't want to make us happy. But as we grew older, we learned that our parents didn't say no because they didn't love us. They said no because they knew what was best for us. They had more experience and wisdom, and their love was not always about giving us what we wanted, but giving us what we needed." The young man listened intently, starting to understand a little more. The priest continued, "God is the same way. When we ask for things, He doesn't say no because He doesn't care about us. No, He loves us more than we can even comprehend. Sometimes the things we ask for are not what's best for us at the moment, or sometimes they might not fit into His plan for us. And that's why He asks us to wait. In the waiting we grow. We learn to trust, we learn to be patient, and we learn that His timing is always perfect, even when we can't see it." The young man nodded, though the weight in his heart hadn't completely lifted yet. "But Father, it's so hard to wait. Sometimes it feels like I'm just standing still and nothing is happening." The priest smiled gently, putting his hand on the young man's shoulder. "It's natural to feel that way. But waiting doesn't mean nothing is happening. Think about a seed in the ground. At first, we don't see anything. We water it, we care for it, but all we see is dirt. But underneath, in the darkness of the soil, something is happening. The seed is growing, its roots are deepening, and one day, it will break through the surface as a beautiful plant. The waiting is part of the process. So when God asks us to wait, it's because He is working on something far greater than we can see." The young man looked up, his eyes beginning to shine with a glimmer of hope. "I understand now, Father. I've been asking for things without trusting in God's plan. I need to be patient and let Him work in His time." The priest nodded, his voice filled with compassion. "Yes, my son. Remember, true faith is not about getting everything we want right now. True faith is trusting that God knows what's best for us, and His timing is perfect. It's about growing in the relationship with God, even in the moments of silence, because He is with us in every moment. Keep praying, keep trusting, and never give up. Your faith will grow stronger, and you will see that God's love and plan are always worth the wait." The young man stood up, his heart lighter, and with a renewed sense of trust, he said, "Thank you, Father. I'll keep praying and trusting in God's perfect plan." The priest smiled warmly, his eyes full of wisdom. "That's the way, my son. Trust and patience. These are the keys to seeing God's work in your life. Don't rush the process, for it is in the waiting that we find the beauty of His plans. Faith is not just about receiving answers right away, but trusting that God is working even when we cannot see it. In the waiting, we grow. In the waiting, God is always with us."